guys, here we are, Stoomboy, the Combat Companion. So, as always, shows brought to you by Apex Mouthguard North. So, Apex Mouthguard North cover the whole of Scotland. They offer some fantastic custom mouthguards. A lot of science goes into it as well. Obviously, they measure the mouth and all that kind of stuff. So, they get a mouthguard that specifically fits to you. So, it covers anything, whether it be combat sports or any kind of contact sports at all. So, they do cover everything. So, guys, head over to Apex underscore mouthguard underscore north and check out some of their stuff. Drop the guys a message as well because I'd say they're really, really nice people to work with. So guys, going to be talking about Cage Warriors 205. So we are literally 7 days away from probably one of the best Cage Warriors cards that we have seen in a while. Do you know what I mean? As Cage Warriors always put on some awesome cards, but there's nothing like a Glasgow show. Do you know what I mean? So we've got some of the best Scottish fighters on the card that night. So these are the guys that are going to take us into the next part of the evolution of combat sports in Scotland. So, do you know what I mean? They're already, do you know what I mean? They're at the top of the tree in Cage Warriors. They're going to be moving on to bigger things like UFCs and whatever else they're going to be doing. So guys, get along and support these guys. So it's going to be next Saturday, Braehead Arena, 25th of April. Get your tickets as well. If you're going to see a chosen fighter, make sure you hit up the link in their social media bios because the ticket details will go directly to them. All right. So make sure you are hitting them up. Now, my next guest then is a guy that I've been with this guy since the beginning. Do you know what I mean? I've been there. I was there at his first fight. Do you know what I mean? I've been there at a number of his fights. And he's definitely one of the guys I love to see out there. Do you know what I mean? I always wish this guy the best. And do you know what I mean? I want him to be as successful as possible. I know this guy is going to go to the top. You know what I mean? And I can't wait to be there every single step of the way and support him as much as possible. Do you know what I mean? But he's awesome, mate. 2-0 Cage Warriors at the moment. 2 rear naked choke finishes. Cage Warriors are buzzing about this kid. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of other people are buzzing about him as well. So, and for all the right reasons. So, the foot soldier, Jack Foote, Urban Guerrillas, is going to be stepping in. The opponent, so before we obviously kick off, the opponent, again, Jack will talk about it, but the opponent's not been fully announced yet. So, we can't talk about who the fighter is. There is a fight. Okay, we already knew that. We knew that a few days ago. But I'd say we're not going to be talking about the fighter. Unless Cage Warriors announce it while we're live, I'd say we're not going to talk about it at all. So, listen, Jack, my brother, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me.
Yes, mate. Thank you for having me on again, mate. Thank you for the introduction. The introduction was brilliant there, mate. And always happy to come on and talk to you, mate. You know that.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Obviously, day one, I remember being there day one, seeing your first fight. Do you know what I mean? Following you every single step of the way to where you are now. I mean, 2-0 Cage Warriors, Jack. I mean, two very, very awesome finishes against two very tough guys. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that. Obviously, Cage Warriors, your Cage Warriors run at the moment.
Yeah, mate, on a roll. Like last year, I picked up some good momentum. Obviously, started the year doing very unknown as a professional, just getting on about the Scottish regional circuit. But the two fights that I've had, they've both been exciting fights, and it's been big finishes that I've got in them. So it's projected me to where I am now, and I'm now in a great position heading into this year. I've got my first fight of the year lined up now. Big homecoming in Glasgow, mate, and this just sets me up to really, really announce myself now, eh? I've picked
Yeah.
up a big following over the past couple of fights. Like every fight I've had, every support I'm getting, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, mate. So I'm just so thankful for everybody that supports me, and the noise that all these people make is also a big factor to where I am just now. So nah,
Yeah.
absolutely rocking, mate, and I'm excited to put on a showcase on Saturday.
Ian Dean absolutely loves you because I mean, all he'll do is say like, "Jack, do you want to fight?" And you're like, "Yes." Do you know what I mean? Like, no questions asked. Listen, I'm ready. I'll take anybody.
Totally, 100%, mate. That's it. Like fighters fight, you know what I mean? So one, you should be willing to fight. You should be promoting yourself as much as you can to try and do as many tickets for the promotion as you can, and you should be going out there and fighting to finish. Me, I don't fight to win. I fight to finish. You know what I mean? I don't care about the O at the end of my record. I care about the 100% next to my finish rate. So I keep that up, mate, and that keeps them happy.
Yeah, yeah. It's I always remember that the funniest thing was after I remember your first fight, obviously at Cage Warriors 187 in Glasgow. I remember as soon as you'd won, you'd went into the back and straight away you're like, I want another fight. When can I fight again? I remember them saying to you, listen, Jack, go away, take a holiday. Do you know what I mean? You've just come out of a grueling training camp. But I mean, that's the kind of fighters that not just Cage Warriors, but any promotion. That's the kind of fighters they want. Guys that are ready to go in there at any time.
So, I mean, 100%. You never know what tomorrow holds, mate, and you've only got such a small window of opportunity to be a professional fighter. So you may as well try and maximise that whilst you can and get as many fights in whilst you can. Now, I understand that like recovery is important and things like that, but that's my coach's job to tell me to do that. My job is just to be as eager as I can and try and get as many as I can.
Yeah. Glasgow as well. I mean, obviously, me and you've talked about Glasgow, the experience, the walkout and stuff like that. Let's talk about your last walkout. Obviously, the last Glasgow show, 199. That walkout seemed to be different. Obviously, remember your first walkout. The first walkout was brilliant, the atmosphere and all that kind of stuff. But the 199 show, I mean, when you walked out, the place erupted, Jack. Do you know what I mean? And everybody was screaming for you.
Totally, mate. We took an absolutely massive crowd down to Newcastle, mate, and we absolutely blew the roof off the Vertu, and I expect nothing less but the same to happen in Braehead again, mate. It was just unbelievable. What a feeling. Like, you're right, that walkout was different, mate. Like, I got a good reception the first time in Braehead, but I
Yeah,
feel like every fight you have and every win you get more supporters. Like, people that you don't even know personally are now getting behind you as well because they see you fighting and representing where you're from, representing your country. So people just and I think the energy I bring when I'm walking out is different as well. You know what I mean? I don't put my head down and walk to the cage. I'm taking it in, mate. You know what I mean? And I think people just bounce off that energy, and it creates an absolute electric atmosphere that I feed off when I step in that cage, mate.
yeah. Especially going to Newcastle, because obviously Newcastle, it's not your home place. Do you know what I mean? Obviously Scotland is the home place, but to get the reaction you got in Newcastle was phenomenal.
For sure, mate. Even when I was meant to fight in Rome, I took a massive support over to Rome as well. So the people that do support me are total loyal to the bone, man, and they will follow and come and support me wherever I go. So I am so grateful for it. Like, I don't, even though I was going to be fighting in Rome, mate, against a guy that was Italian, I don't think it would have felt like much in a away day anyway. I feel like the 40, 45 people that came for Falkirk were going to be louder than whatever Italians were there for that guy anyway. You know what I mean? So wherever I go, I don't think it's ever going to feel like too much in a away day with the support that I've got.
Yeah, yeah. And I'd say always proud to represent Falkirk, not just Falkirk, but Scotland as a whole. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, what does it mean, obviously, to like Falkirk as a place to have obviously a professional MMA fighter out there fighting at the top level and all? What does it mean for you to be able to go out and represent these guys?
It's massive, mate. I absolutely love flying the flag for the town that I'm from, mate. You know what I mean? I've grew up here almost all my days, mate. So it makes me so proud to be the leading guy from Falkirk, screaming and shouting about it and taking it all the way to the top, mate. Just putting my town on the map, mate. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favourite parts about fighting is getting to represent my country, my town, and my team. You know what I mean? Getting to just total represent to the fullest, mate. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. And it reminded you, because obviously when you were in that last one and I remember you in the cage and you were shouting after the win, you were shouting Falkirk, Falkirk, Falkirk. And it reminds you of like, no, like Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
No, when he comes out, Nate Diaz is shouting, Stockton, bitch, Stockton.
Totally, 100%, man. It's the exact same. Even like that is one of the parts. Like, there's times when I'm walking out and I'm in there, and it's like you slip between the enjoyment and the focus, the enjoyment and the focus. But then when I hear Falkirk like fighting out of Falkirk, Scotland, and I look around and take it in, mate, it's almost like a superpower, mate. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
a drug that you've never ever felt before. It's unbelievable.
yeah, yeah. Going to this one, obviously, this will be your third pro fight, third fight Cage Warriors. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, again, we don't know the opponent yet. Obviously, you mentioned obviously contract. You'd signed your part of the contract. That was announced a few days
Yep.
ago. You put it on your social media. So let me ask, because
Yeah.
obviously I spoke to James Doolan about this, and James Doolan had high praise for you. He said, obviously, you're one of the kind of top guys. He's very, very excited to see where you're going. One thing he also talked
Yeah.
about as well was um, not knowing who your opponent is until like maybe a week to 10 days before. What does that do in regards to your mindset? Do you know what I mean? Does it play on your mind? Because at the end of the day, you're taking a fight on a week to 10 days notice almost. Do you know what I mean? So what does that do? Does that have any effect on your mindset, or is it just for you all business?
It was more just not knowing what weight I was going to be fighting at the bottom, because obviously I'm a pretty big bantamweight, so
Yeah,
meaning to like really deplete myself to get down to that weight is pretty tough without knowing like you've got an opponent signed on that weight. So I was well like, I'm on track, you know what I mean, definitely on track. So that was the hardest part, mate. Regarding the opponent, I knew Ian Dean would get me someday. If he says he's going to get you someday, he would. So I knew I was going to be fighting on this date, mate, and I don't mind. Like I'm confident. I'm not just a. I don't need to look at somebody and say, "Oh, I don't want to strike with him," or "Oh, right, better avoid getting taken down off this guy." Like I am supremely confident that I can fight wherever the fight goes, mate. I'm a complete MMA fighter. I can strike. I can grapple. I'm fit. I'm strong. It doesn't really phase me if I'm going to be fighting a grappler, or if I'm going to be fighting a striker, or if I'm fighting a boxer, or if I'm fighting a wrestler. Like I feel like I've got the skill set to deal with any style. So
yeah,
that didn't really bother me too much. It was just more the weight kind of thing, you know what I mean? But it's all good. I stayed on track and grinded through. It was a challenge in itself, don't get me wrong, but listen, these are things that can happen, you know what I mean? Like I would never build a strict game plan anyway. You could like I had the fight in Rome, and if the guy had said earlier that he was ill, I would have got a replacement that week and
yeah,
wouldn't have had time to build a game plan anyway. So I just trust my reactions, mate. I don't go in with a game plan and I follow this and I do that because like Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan to get punched in the face. You've got to be able to react in the moment. So I just totally
yeah.
trust my skills, mate. You know what I mean? And I let my reactions take over when I get in there.
Yeah, over at TriStar again for this camp as well. Obviously, doing some training over there again. I mean, TriStar. I mean, there's not really a lot that you can say that nobody already knows about TriStar. I mean, obviously, one of the kind of top gyms in the world in regards to MMA training and so on. And obviously, you are mixing with the big guys as well, like George St. Pierre, Demetrius Johnson, and stuff like that. Obviously, picking their brains, but. Tell us about obviously the camps over there. I mean, what's it like to go over there and mix it with some of these guys?
It's pretty surreal, mate, being on the mats and just like shaking hands with these guys that are like people that you've watched since you were like 13, 14. I didn't even start training MMA till I was 19, but I've been
Yeah,
watching it since I was about 14 years old. So these are the guys that you're watching when you're 14 years old, and like before I even started training the sport, and now I'm in the same room as them, shaking their hands and talking to them. So it's unbelievable, mate. But even that aside, like the training that I'm getting when I'm there as well, man, like it is brilliant, brilliant training for me. There's so many guys about like featherweight, bantamweight, flyweight that you've just got so many different bodies to train with, and obviously Firaz is leading the sessions. He's on the mats every day. There's loads of other top coaches there as well. Do a lot of striking work with one of the guys, Conrad, over there. So yeah, it's definitely a home away from home. Now, like I feel very very welcome over there, mate. And the training's unbelievable. But even there's guys on the mat that like you've not even heard of. All the guys that are like just like the 2 to 5-0 guys that are over there as well. They are fucking killers, man. You know, like UFC level
yeah.
killers at such an early stage of their careers. You know what I mean? So the training's absolutely invaluable over there, mate. It's brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask, do they understand you? Because obviously, Scottish twang. I mean, nobody understands us wherever we go. But do you have to put a bit of a kind of more posher Scottish accent on? Do you tame it down a little bit?
Yeah, I need to tame it down a little bit, mate, definitely. But there's times I forget and I'll just start talking the way I normally talk, and people looking like, what are you talking about, man? Not got a clue. But yeah, no, I think as the time goes longer, as I'm because I do long trips when I'm over there. Last year I was 10 weeks, this year I was 6 weeks. So
Yeah,
as the weeks go on, I think my accent gets tamer because I come back and people like that fuck you talking like that, mate? And like, well, I can talk like a normal Scottish guy again. You know what I mean? I remember the
yeah,
first day when I got back, the first thing I done was went to the butchers that are my sponsor, Kinnear Butcher Shop, and went in and get my stock up. And he was giving me a steak, and he was like, "You want a big flavour bomb, pal?" I was like, "I've missed that accent so much, mate." You know what I mean? It's fucking brilliant, man. Brilliant.
oh, brilliant. And again, obviously, training over at TriStar. I mean, you're not going over there just to to be in the mix. I mean, you're going over there and you're doing very very well in training. I mean, we saw that. We saw in the last training camp you were in. You were doing some grappling, and do you know what I mean, you were running over the top of some people. Do you know what I mean? And you were doing very very well. So you're holding your own in a gym with a very very big reputation.
100%, mate. Definitely, it's like although just for a small gym in Scotland, mate, we've got to an extremely good level in the small space of time that I've been training. You know what I mean? So It's like people always say, "Oh, you're a credit to yourself," but I'm a credit to all the people that have put so much time into me as well. Because if I didn't have the people around me that have put the time and effort into me, then I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am just now. And even like the contacts to go to these places, like these aren't places you usually just rock up and announce and say, "All right, I'm Jack for Scotland and I'm here to train." So I'm very, very lucky with the people that I've got around me that are able to sort these things out for me and put so much time into me on the mats and off the mats as well, mate. You know what I mean? Like with the amount of support I've got around me between my team, my family, my sponsors, like if there was anybody that was ever going to make it on this sport, I'm in the best position possible to do it. You know what I mean? So even if I don't make it in the sport and I don't get as far as I see myself going, I know it's not for a lack of trying or a lack of anything. I will go as far as I'm meant to go. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
let's see how far we can kick it.
definitely. Obviously, Holland as well. You get, I know you get over to Holland. I know you don't go over as often as you would want to, but you do go over there and do some training as well. So again, tell us about obviously your Holland trips.
Yeah, so Barry's obviously my head coach in Scotland at Urban Guerrillas. His coach Kamal stays over in Holland, and I go over there quite a bit. It's such an easy trip for me. I just need to pay for my flights, and I get to go and stay with Kamal in his big tasty house. So it's brilliant, man. I absolutely love going over there to train. I'm over there. I'm on the mats with Kamal, picking his brain. Like his grappling's unbelievable. So I really pick up loads of skills every time I go over there and train with him. Get to jump into hammers and get my kickboxing sparring and things like that as well. So you're mixing it up with some of the best kickboxers in the world when you go over there to spar. It's heavy duty. So again,
Yeah,
it's just the places I've been able to tap into and just go and train and learn and get the rounds in. It's like there's only one way you can go and it's up, mate. You know what I mean? Being on the mats with these guys, it's like you need to elevate. You know what I mean? You've got no other choice.
yeah. I think Kamal was at your Glasgow show, if I remember rightly.
Yes, mate. He was there for Glasgow and he was there for Newcastle as well. So Kamal's been in the corner for my last amateur fight and my two professional fights as well. And he's going to be in the corner for this one too. He gets here on Friday. So I'm extremely grateful for all the big man's time and money and effort that he puts into me and being able to come over. You know what I mean? It's a massive, massive help to have him there because he is the loudest guy in the arena. You know what I mean? If he wants something, he barks for something, then I definitely hear it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I met him. I did meet him. I remember being in Glasgow and at the Glasgow show. Obviously, I saw yourself, I saw Barry and all that, and then obviously the coach Kamal as well. So I remember getting to meet him. Awesome guy, man. I'd say I had a little bit of a chat with him. Not too long because obviously you had to get you ready and all that. So, but such an awesome guy. Really, really nice guy to have in your corner.
Totally, 100%. Absolutely great guy, mate. Like on and off the mats, you know what I mean? He's like does so much for me off the mats, like sponsorship wise and sorting training out for me. That's how I ended up going over to Try Starts because he's friends with Silver Fox. Silver
Yeah,
Fox is friends with Faraz. So the amount of doors he's opened for me is unbelievable. But then even like the amount of stuff that he does for me off the mats, taking care of me and that, just absolutely great guy.
yeah. Listen, it's going to be great to see the team over in Glasgow this Saturday. I'll be there as well, man. Front row and centre. Do you know what I mean? So I think where I am is where you. I remember you in Glasgow when
Yes,
you
mate.
jumped
Brilliant.
out of the mat when you jumped out of the cage and then you jumped into the crowd. I think that's the bit I'm sitting at this time. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, hopefully
Class,
we'll
mate.
get jumped on. Yeah, hopefully we'll get jumped on again this time. So,
I
uh,
was going to say, be ready to catch me then. You know the score, so be ready to catch me, mate.
listen, I've got you, brother. I've got you. Do you know what I mean? So, but final thing, Jack. Obviously, again, we're a week away. Do you know what I mean? Again, the people around you. I mean, we talk about this all the time. It's very, very important to have like things like sponsorship and do you know what I mean? Just have people there to support these fighters. Do you know what I mean? So, but Jack, I mean, you've got a lot of people around you, but anybody in particular you want to shout out to? Any friends, family members, teammates, sponsors, anything you may have?
So many, mate. Like I'm extremely well sponsored. Like to all my sponsors, I'm so grateful. Like I'm just so lucky. I have so many people backing me and in my corner, mate. My mum and dad are absolutely brilliant. My girlfriend and her family are absolutely brilliant. Like just being able to stay and like I don't need to worry about anything when I'm off the mats. I get so much done for me, mate. You know what I mean? So I'm extremely grateful to all of them. Then my team at Urban Guerrillas, Sub Factory, all the gyms I go to for sparring. You know what I mean? Like there's just so many people to thank and there's just so much that goes on behind the scenes that people never really realise, mate. You know what I mean? Like without all of that help, like if I had to do everything that other people do for me on top of what I do, mate, I don't know that it'd be physically impossible, mate. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah, to everyone else, and then even to everybody that's even come and bought a ticket and sharing my posts and everything like that, like that all makes a massive difference, like to the trajectory of my career as well, mate. You know what I mean? So to all the people, I'm extremely grateful, and then finally to Cage Warriors for the opportunity to perform on home soil again, and just keep kicking it with them, mate, because it's the proven pathway to the UFC, and that's where anyone with a dream of becoming an MMA fighter says they want to be in the UFC, mate. You know, that is the goal. So, yeah, no, unbelievable, mate. Like, just so many people to thank, and I'm extremely grateful and fortunate to be in the position that I'm in, mate.
yeah. Had a recent birthday as well, Jack. So if you do see him next week, man, on Saturday, do you want me to wish him a happy birthday? I know it was about a week ago now, so but still, go up and give him a hug, wish him a happy birthday and stuff like that. So but it's going to be an amazing night. It's going to be a fantastic night, guys. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, as well as Jack, we've got other guys like the main event, Sean Clancy Jr., Justin Burlinson, probably one of the best main events that we've seen in Cage Warriors for a while. For a while, I think the last one they talked about was Hughes Vucenic was probably the last great main event we had. That was what a few years ago now. So, but yeah, as well as obviously Jack and Sean, you got Jordan Strong, Michael Blair. I'm going to miss loads of people out here, right? I'm going to miss loads. We've got Lewis Urquhart making his pro debut at Cage Warriors
Yep, we've
for
got
Dates
Gaz
back.
fighting hard in times. Gaz is literally just through that back door training right now.
Yeah,
Uh, so I've got Gaz versus Arden. Obviously, Arden was who I fought in my first pro fight. Gaz has been a great training partner and coach of mine for
yeah.
years now as well. So that's a great fight on the card.
Yeah, Gaz Priestley as well, man. Gaz Priestley, Alan Towns. It's a shame, obviously, two Scottish guys. But do you know what? It is what it is, man. Do you know what I mean? As I said, that's going to be a great matchup. Do you know what I mean? Who are you looking forward? Obviously, final thing. Who are you looking forward to? I know you're looking forward to the whole card that you're going to be able to
Yeah.
watch, but any match that stands out to you, like I want to be standing watching this.
Yeah, I think time wise, I don't know if it'll be able to line up. Obviously, Gaz, because like Gaz is like my coaching teammate, you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
out with that, just pure for the fight value, you've got to be Damon Donald versus Leon Arms. I mean, that is a
Oh,
fucking scrap, man. Like
yeah,
I seen that, and I'm looking at it, and selfishly, I'm thinking, fuck, if there's bonuses on the line, I'm probably not getting one anymore. You know what I mean? Because they two are going to fucking go at it. So nah, that's definitely a fight. Hopefully, if I've got the time and it doesn't clash with my fight, I'd love to watch that live and actually be there in person
yeah,
watching it because
yeah.
that'll be a fucking scrap, man.
Oh, listen, none of them are taking a step back, man. Leon's obviously Damon's violent, man. Damon's I call him the king of violence for obviously reasons, but Leon's one of these guys that he will not step back. If Damon's coming forward, Leon will go forward as well. Do you know what I mean? So that's going to be chaos. Do you know what I mean? Whatever long it lasts for,
100%.
yeah, whatever long
Yeah,
it lasts for. I don't think it'll last
Damon's
for.
not had an opponent. Damon's not had an opponent like that since Callum Parker. So, and that fight was fucking unbelievable, mate. I can
Yeah,
remember going and watch. That was before I was signed to Cage Warriors. I was still an amateur at that point. And I remember going to the show, and I'm like, everybody's talking about like the fights that were going on. I'm like, I'm telling you, that one's going to be fight of the night.
yeah.
And it was. So now I'm sure it'll almost be like a carbon copy of that fight, mate. You know what I mean? It'll be madness.
Definitely. Guys, do not miss this. Cage Warriors 205, Saturday, 25th of April, Braehead Arena. Come make loads of noise, man. Do it like we always do it in Glasgow. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing like a Glasgow show. I've been to shows all over the place. Do you know what I mean? And as I said, the atmosphere in Glasgow is something very, very different. Do you know what I mean? From the moment the thing with Glasgow is, and again, you go to other shows, and what will happen is you tend to find that the stadiums of the arena is a little bit empty at the very beginning for like the prelim or the earlier fights, and then it gets busier and busier as it goes to the main event. Glasgow is not like that. Glasgow is packed from the moment the doors open to the moment the doors close. Do you know what I mean? So definitely do not miss this. If you're going to see Jack, make sure you head over to his Instagram. The link is in his bio for tickets. All right, so make sure you are going to that link to get the tickets because, as I said, he will get something off the back of that. But Jack, brother, listen, always a pleasure.
Nah, Claston, thank you. Cheers for your time. I really appreciate it, mate. Just another quick wee shout as well. There's two buses running for Falkirk. It's still 10 spaces there. So anybody's wanting a bus for Falkirk to the venue and back, give us a shout, hop on.
Definitely. That's like the Venga bus, man. Like all these buses travelling all over, man. It's just a party bus, man. Do you know what I mean? We're going to the Braehead Arena. We're coming back. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's going to be an amazing night. Do you know what I mean? But Jack, listen, thank you very much for your time today. Obviously, give a shout. Tell Gaz I was asking him. Tell him I hope he's training hard, man. I hope he's training hard, which I know he is. I know he
Oh,
is.
he's
So.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you can't hear him screaming, whacking the pads like just through the door. So I know he's definitely training hard. Like I'm going to walk back out here, it's going to be a pile of piss and sweat, man.
But listen, all the best for the week this week coming, obviously with the weight cut and stuff like that. And listen, I'll see you next Saturday, brother. All
Yeah.
right.
No, awesome. Thank you, Stoom. Cheers again for your time, mate. I appreciate it.
Take it easy, brother.